Hi, my name is Tomas Keck, and welcome to Media Bias Check at Sacred Heart University. With all the information available to us through the internet, it is sometimes hard to tell what sources are reliable. Now more than ever, the media is filled with bias. People have the tendency to only believe in the sources that confirm their own beliefs. This means that oftentimes they won't take a deeper look into where the information came from and whether or not it is reliable. Adfonts Media provides us with a chart which places different sources on a scale from left, untruthful, to neutral, and over to right, untruthful. This is a great resource for anyone wondering if an article they found is reliable. We have taken a look at sources from each of the sections. What we found was incredibly surprising and informative. Some of the most popular news sources that we believe to be reliable fall under a leaning bias and varying reliability. However, these sources have grown incredibly biased as our political climate becomes increasingly polarized. We bring in extreme news expert Matt. Matt, tell us a little bit about the extreme bias in our news today.
I'm going to be talking a little bit about news sites that post information not based on fact and are not reliable, such as Humans Are Free. Now, this is a far right-leaning site where they post a lot of opinionated sources, and it's a lot of people who have just taken the time to write news. You know, people like you and me, regular people, not journalists. Now, the same goes on the left. There's a site, The Jimmy Dore Show. This is a left-leaning side with a similar type of thing. Guys like you and me writing what we think, posting it as a fact.
So these guys aren't credited media journalists.
No.
Right.
This is just people's opinions. And, you know, for them to be credited as news sources, that's not good. We can't have that.
Right. Do you think it's kind of dangerous?
It's incredibly dangerous to our society. I think, you know, people love getting their news from the internet. You know, we've gone from a completely paperless society now. You know, the bias in our media affects the way that we see different events around the world. A most recent example, you know, comes with this conflict in Ukraine. You know, the first article that shows up when you Google the Ukraine war is one from the New York Times. Now, this is a reputable outlet. You know, that's good. But on the other hand, there's an increasing amount of people, like I said, who are getting their news from social media.
Right.
And these are not usually the most reliable sources.
No.
You know, you're not going to find, you know, good quality articles on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Snapchat. You know, oftentimes people share their articles, you know, people, you know, read their articles only based on that title, you know, clickbait. It is up to the reader to take a deeper look into whether or not the article contains that trustworthy information that, you know, we all should be getting. And most people do not take that extra step.
That brings me to another question, because I was thinking about this too. Do you think a good two sources of media that people can go to get both sides are like maybe the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal? Because I know New York Times is central, if not leaning a little bit left, and then the Wall Street Journal is quite the opposite. It's central, if not leaning a little bit right. Do you think if people pair news outlets like that, it's a good, reliable source?
Oh yeah, you're definitely going to find truthful, factual information. You know, the most neutral place you're going to get your news comes from sites like the AP, Reuters, places like that contain no bias. But, you know, getting a good dose of news from both the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal is going to give you a pretty confident sense of truth, I think.
With the increase in people who get their information and news, the White House decided to take advantage of the opportunity to adapt. They briefed a large group of TikTok stars about the war in Ukraine. The articles that shared information comes from the Washington Post, another source that falls into the reliable section of the scale. The use of TikTok to provide this information shows how news transforms and adapts throughout the years. However, we need to stay aware of the fact that bias will follow wherever we go. This generation has been blessed and plagued with tons and tons of media. You know, we have it on our phones. We can access information wherever we want, from whoever we want. So it's important that we take charge in looking at nice, reliable sources.
Yeah, you must look at all the facts. It's important to not just click on what you believe in, but to get it from every single side and to make sure that you're finding the truth.
Yep. Well, Matt, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
This was Media Bias Check at Sacred Heart University, signing off.